Mahomes. He's blocked for Lamar Jackson. Maybe the key to making big money is having Orlando Brown protecting your backside. Orlando, when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, though, the lasting memory is Patrick Mahomes being under siege the entire Super Bowl by the Philadelphia Eagles front. Why is it, do you believe, they struggled down the stretch last year?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it comes down to being healthy and having some guys out of position. Joe Tooney is one of the best left guards in football, if not the best left guard. They end up having to kick him out to left tackle and play that left tackle position, man. That's hard to do for anybody. And so, man, I think a lot of it came down to that. And I mean, Andy Heck, the offensive line coach, is one of the best in the world too, and has been for a long time at what he does. I imagine this group will come back fighting, ready to go.
You know this well, Orlando, because you were part of this restoration of the offensive line. The last time Kansas City lost in the Super Bowl to Tampa Bay, what did they do? They said, let's go attack this all off season. Let's spend big money in free agency and through a trade and through the draft as well. So the Chiefs kind of gave themselves a double-barreled approach at left tackle this offseason, which was perhaps the most troublesome spot last year. They did take Josh Simmons, who Jeremy just talked about, who looks like he'll be ready for the start of training camp. On talent alone, he was way better than 31st overall, coming off of a major knee situation, though. Obviously, some teams were less comfortable with it than Kansas City was. They also signed Jalen Moore to a 2-year, $30 million contract, which obviously, in any other job other than left tackle, makes you one of the richest people on the entire planet. But left tackle money-wise, that's like, it's a starter, but also a guy that if our rookie plays so great, we can put him ahead of you, Jalen Moore, and find a home for Jalen Moore either as a starter somewhere else or perhaps as our valuable 6th offensive lineman. So the Chiefs, once again this offseason, said we need to get right along the offensive line.
I mean, it seems like the Chiefs have had that reminder in their 2 Super Bowl losses, right? That no matter how good Patrick Mahomes is, no matter how good Andy Reid, if you don't protect him, they do become mere mortals. But you know the one thing about the Chiefs and the way that they operate, the way that they work, they understand protecting the most valuable asset, which is Patrick Mahomes, and it seems like they tried their best to address that this offseason, but we have to see how that shakes out because I have to believe teams like Buffalo and Baltimore are chomping at the bit for an opportunity to represent the AFC.
I also think that, like, it's funny to think how, sometimes you hear about a team's offensive line struggles last season, and it's like, and they had the 4th pick in the draft, right? It's like for the Chiefs, it's like, oh, the offensive line really struggled so much last year that they made it the Super Bowl once again, right? Yeah. So the reality for Kansas City is, Orlando, is that every year you're going to be measured not by the number of regular season wins, but rather, do you win the Super Bowl or do you not?
Well, a team that's trying to get where Kansas City has gone so often is the Baltimore Ravens and their star quarterback, Lamar Jackson. And now, headed into the season, he had some interesting things to say about how focused and locked in he'll be.
I don't think I get over any loss, to be honest. I got losses from youth football that still hunt me, so I never get over a loss. I don't care how small it may be to someone else or how great it might be. It's always the same for me. Before it was like, oh, you can't win a playoff game. We won a playoff game. We got to the LC Championship 2 years ago, and we just fell short, like 2 games short this year. But we're going to bounce back. And when we come back, I feel like we're going to have vengeance on our mind.
Well, you hear Lamar talking about playing with a vengeance. The thing I notice when I listen to that is all that block out the noise is bullcrap. I've been in those locker rooms, right? You hear what folks are saying, and Lamar Jackson, who's one of the greatest players in the world, hears all the doubters saying that he can't get it done. How do you expect Lamar to approach this season with a vengeance?
It's funny because knowing him, I mean, this guy has approached it with like, here's a vengeance every year. That's just his personality and mindset when it comes to the game of football. I've got a ton of respect for my dog, man. Obviously, we came in together as rookies, but I mean, at the end of the day, just like all of us and all the elite competitors, we want to win a Super Bowl, and that's what we're in it for, man, year after year, day after day, and that's his mindset. He puts his body on the line, his mind on the line. I mean, he loves it. And, I mean, obviously the game loves him back as many MVPs as he wants. So, man, I mean, I think he's going to have a vengeance regardless of what happened last year.
Well, Jeremy, maybe Lamar can add general manager to his resume. When he said, Eric, go get him, and he goes out and gets Jair Alexander the next day. What can you tell us about that contract?
RC, he really did that. He's already thrown a touchdown before the season started by getting Jair. He played recruiter. He told the front office, hey, I love this guy, and here's why he makes a big difference for us. So, actually, I was told the Ravens were involved with Jair Alexander back in March. when he was on the trading block, talked to the player, talked to Green Bay a little bit, fielded out. Nothing happened. So when he became a free agent, GM Eric DeCosta called that first day. There were some other teams involved. I was told Alexander thought about the Atlanta Falcons, where he had some relationships to the coaching staff there, the Miami Dolphins too, although they hadn't traded Jalen Ramsey, so there just wasn't an opening there financially yet. But he went on a visit this week to the Ravens without any promises. He was non-committal. He said, I just want to go chop it up with Lamar, the front office. He was there a couple hours. He said, I'm good. I'm signing. Let's do it.
Hey, listen, when it's right, right? It's like that love at first sight. When you see her across the room, you know that's finna be your wife. You know what I'm saying? And so he felt that. But also, too, coming into this offseason, addressing the secondary was a big point of focus for the Baltimore Ravens. You draft Malachi Starks in the first round. You go out and get Jair. And to me, that move is about understanding that Marlon Humphrey loves to move inside in sub packages. Now you have Nate Wiggins and also Jair Alexander on the outside. I think this is the team now. You're getting ready and getting focused to win on the back end field.
Yeah, and if I think I've talked about this a couple times this week, how the Ravens last year had one of the worst pass rush win rates in the entire NFL. They couldn't get a lot of pressures in some of their biggest moments. This past season, when they lost to both Buffalo and Philadelphia, two of the league's elite teams, they managed just 5 pressures. That's not going to cut it. And in some ways, that's a reflection of the pass rush. But RC, as you know, pass rush often is as good as the secondary behind it. Sometimes the secondary is as good as the pass rush in front of it. So now, on paper, this should be a no excuses year for Baltimore, right? I don't sit there and identify a single area on the roster where I say, I'm not so sure that's quality enough to potentially compete for a championship. Baltimore feels like they have sort of built this thing and built this thing and built it further, that this year the bar will not be measured by doing things in the playoffs. It's going to be, are we holding the Lombardi Trophy in Santa Clara, California come February?
I mean, that's what it's about for this team, and you know rushing coverage works together, but we got a ton more of NFL live coverage. Some of these dudes who are looking for money as pass rushers, and we're going to talk about their contracts and Orlando Browns teammate Trey Hendrickson. Now, this is what you need to know about my dog. He had 17 sacks in each of the last 2 seasons. Hey man, it's only 4 of the dudes that's ever done that since sacks became a traditional stat. Okay, Jeremy, tell me this, man. Where do the Bengals and Trey Hendrickson stand right now in contract negotiations?
So, RC, they have resumed contract talks, which is a good thing because Trey Hendrickson had been vocal about the fact that there had been a lack of communication. So they're back to the drawing board trying to hash this out. It has not progressed to a deal as of yet, as was cautioned to me from a source like, hey, this is a process. And it's very complicated because Hendrickson not only wants a substantial raise, he wants something long-term. He wants something that's beyond just like a one-year Band-Aid type of deal here. And he wants something to measure with his skill set, which is $35+ million a year right now. So they'll hash away at it. Some talks, it's a good sign, but it has not gone anywhere firm yet to a deal.
All right, Lando, let's keep it real, right? If the Cincinnati Bengals learn how to start a season, you guys would be in a lot better place than you've been at the end of the season trying to make these runs. It felt like they did the right things. They got T signed, they got Jamar signed. But now with Trey being out, Shamar Stewart looking for a contract, how are you guys staying on task so you don't have the same thing befall you that has happened the last 2 seasons?
Yeah, I think, man, we got a very close locker room, first and foremost. So, I mean, guys have talked to Trey, guys have talked to Shamar. Even when Jamar and T were going through what they were going through, we spoke to them. I mean, ultimately, man,